Financial freedom is not a distant dream reserved for the lucky few. It's not some exclusive reward for high earners or financial experts. It's a responsibility, one that too many people ignore until it's far too late. There's a dangerous illusion that time will always be on our side, that more money will eventually come, that someday, somehow, things will fall into place. But the truth is far more unforgiving. Time doesn't wait, money doesn't manage itself, and life rarely gives second chances at 65. It's easy to think that wealth is about numbers, about a certain income, a big promotion, or a lucky investment. But that belief has left millions facing retirement with nothing more than bills, regrets, and fading energy. The reality is sobering. Income means nothing without discipline. Fortune fades without foresight. And financial security isn't built in a moment. It's built in habits, decisions, and principles that seem small in the moment but become monumental over time. The danger doesn't arrive overnight, it creeps in quietly. It starts with living just a little beyond what's earned. A few swipes of a credit card here, a delayed savings decision there. It grows when today always feels more urgent than tomorrow. When small luxuries justify themselves and big responsibilities keep getting pushed to later. But later has a way of showing up uninvited. And when it doesn't ask whether you're ready, simply demands an answer. Too many discover too late that the answer is no. It's a silent crisis, one that isn't often discussed because the warning signs aren't dramatic. But behind too many smiles are mounting debts, empty accounts, and a growing fear of a future that feels uncertain, even threatening. What's worse is that this condition is preventable, entirely preventable, with the right mindset and the right rules in place. The difference between financial struggle and financial stability isn't luck or genius. It's clarity, it's commitment, it's courage. The path to freedom begins not with money, but with belief. The belief that change is possible, that discipline matters, and that long-term thinking will always outperform short-term indulgence. The habits that build wealth are rarely glamorous. They don't look exciting on the outside. But they are powerful, they are steady, and they are life-changing. That's why the rules that follow are not just tips. They are not suggestions to consider when things are convenient. They are non-negotiable. They are the foundation of a life that will not be ruled by money, but will rule. Understanding these rules changed everything. They transformed stress into security. They replaced panic with peace. They allowed for choices, not just in retirement, but every day. And more than that, they built something deeper than a bank account. They built confidence. They built clarity. They built freedom. There's a lie that it's too late to start. That if the perfect financial life didn't begin in your 20s, then the race is lost. That's wrong. What matters is not when you begin, but whether you begin. Right now is always better than someday. These 7 rules have the power to change the course of a financial future, no matter the age, no matter the past, and no matter the current situation. But make no mistake, time is not an infinite resource. Every day spent ignoring these truths is a day borrowed from a future that might not forgive the delay. Financial freedom requires more than intention. It requires decisions that are often uncomfortable, countercultural, and deeply personal, but they are worth it. Every sacrifice, every delay of gratification, every disciplined choice adds up, not just to dollars, but to dignity. This isn't about fear. It's about truth. The truth that financial strength is within reach for anyone who's willing to reach for it. And the truth that being broke at 65 is not just a failure of income, it's a failure of preparation. That failure can be avoided. It must be avoided. What comes next are the rules that made that possible. The journey to financial security is not defined by complexity, it's governed by clarity. Clarity in values, clarity in actions, and clarity in rules that are followed without compromise. While the world offers distractions disguised as opportunities, true wealth is built by those who commit to timeless principles. Principles that work in any economy, under any income, and for any person willing to follow them. These 7 rules are not tricks. They are not temporary fixes. They are anchors, and they are powerful enough to prevent a lifetime of financial struggle, even in the face of chaos. The first rule is simple, but it is the most often ignored. Live on less than you make. This is not a suggestion, it is the foundation. Overspending is not a budgeting problem. It's a belief problem. It says today's comfort is worth more than tomorrow's stability. That's a lie. Every dollar spent beyond your means is a debt borrowed from your future self. Living below your means is not about deprivation, it's about intention. It's not about shrinking your life, it's about expanding your future. The moment this rule is embraced, financial pressure begins to loosen its grip. The second rule is to save first, not last. The common mistake is to treat saving as something optional, something that happens only when there's something left. But waiting until there's extra is a trap. There's rarely extra. Lifestyle expands as fast as income does. And if saving isn't automatic, it's accidental. And accidents don't build wealth. The moment money arrives, a portion must be set aside before anything else is touched. This is not a gesture of financial maturity. It is a declaration of financial leadership. Pay your future before you fund your present, and your future will thank you with freedom. The third rule is non-negotiable. Avoid consumer debt like a disease. High-interest debt is a thief. It steals income. It steals peace. It steals choices. Credit cards and personal loans are sold as conveniences, but they are chains. Every dollar owed is a dollar surrendered. Debt does not just delay dreams. It destroys them. If a purchase cannot be made with cash or savings, it is not affordable. Simple. Debt is not a tool when it leads to things that lose value. It is a trap dressed in the illusion of progress. Freedom begins where debt ends. The fourth rule is to invest early and invest consistently. Time is the most powerful force in finance. Compound interest is not a miracle. It is a formula, and it favors the early and the disciplined. Waiting for the perfect moment to invest is a costly myth. Markets will rise and fall, but consistency builds wealth through every season. Small regular investments into solid vehicles like index funds or retirement accounts outperform erratic attempts to time the market. Start down. Stay steady. Let time do what it does best. Multiply. The fifth rule is to own assets, not just stuff. There is a vast difference between what appreciates and what deteriorates. Assets generate income, grow in value, or provide strategic utility. Stuff clutters garages, fades in novelty, and disappears in value the moment it's purchased. Financial strength grows when money is directed toward ownership. Ownership of investments, property, skills, and tools that pay dividends over time. Every dollar should be seen as a seed, planted in things that grow, not things that die. The sixth rule is to prepare for the unexpected. Emergencies are not anomalies, they are inevitable. Car repairs, medical bills, job loss, these are not hypothetical, they are human. And yet most people live one crisis away from collapse. An emergency fund is not just a financial buffer, it is psychological armor. It keeps decisions rational in moments of panic. It prevents small problems from becoming massive consequences. Saving for the unexpected is not pessimism. It is wisdom, and it separates the fragile from the secure. The seventh rule is to keep learning and stay humble. Financial ignorance is expensive, and arrogance is lethal. The world of money is constantly evolving, from markets to tax laws to strategies and tools. Those who stop learning begin falling behind, but humility opens the door to growth. Ask questions, read books, seek advice, question habits, revisit plans. The greatest danger is believing you already know enough. The truth is there's always more to learn, and the more you know, the stronger your position becomes. These rules are not about restriction. They are about power, the power to say no when it matters most, the power to walk away from financial traps, and the power to build a future that is not built on fear, but on purpose. They are not meant to be followed when convenient. They are meant to guide every financial choice in good times and bad. Anyone who follows them consistently and seriously will not only avoid being broke at 65, they will build a life defined by peace, control, and opportunity. Financial security is not an end goal, it is a platform. It's the point from which life begins to be lived on your own terms, not just endured. The purpose of building wealth isn't to hoard it or to impress others. It's not about big houses or luxury vacations or collecting symbols of success. The real power of financial freedom is in the choices it creates. When money is no longer a source of anxiety, it becomes a source of strength. When financial pressure disappears, possibility appears. That's the difference between surviving and truly living. Too many people see retirement as a finish line. But retirement isn't the end, it's a transition. It's not about stopping, it's about choosing. Choosing how time is spent, who it's spent with, and what kind of impact will be made. True wealth offers more than financial comfort, it provides dignity. It offers rest. It gives the ability to say yes to what matters and a no to what doesn't, without fear, without guilt, and without compromise. That kind of power isn't reserved for the elite. It's the result of living by values instead of by pressure. When money is managed with wisdom, it stops being a source of tension and becomes a tool for purpose. But purpose doesn't arrive overnight. It's shaped by every disciplined decision, every moment of restraint, and every choice to prioritize the long term over the temporary. The life built on solid financial principles isn't louder. It's quieter. It's free of the noise of debt, the burden of paycheck-to-paycheck living, and the anxiety of being unprepared for what's ahead. In that quiet, real peace is found. And from that peace, real contribution begins. Because in the end, this journey isn't just about personal gain. It's about legacy. A financial legacy isn't just what is left in a will. It's the example that's lived every day. It's the mindset that gets passed on, the habits that children observe, the standard that others are inspired by. Financial strength is contagious. It lifts family. It strengthens communities. It proves that it's possible to rise above circumstance and take control of the future. And that legacy begins the moment the decision is made to be intentional. Building a financial legacy doesn't require millions. It requires values. It means living in a way that shows money as a servant, not a master. It means having the discipline to make wise decisions when no one is watching and the humility to keep learning even when things are going well. It means choosing to live for something bigger than just personal pleasure. Because the real measure of wealth isn't what's accumulated. It's what's made possible because of it. The long-term vision of financial freedom is not just a future without bills. It's a future with meaning. It's waking up without fear of outliving your savings. It's being able to give generously without hesitation. It's watching future generations thrive because the path was cleared for them. It's knowing that the sacrifices made decades ago were not in vain. They were seeds planted in the soil of wisdom, now bearing fruit that others get to enjoy. And make no mistake, this kind of freedom is not guaranteed. It's not handed out. It's not won in a lottery or stumbled upon by chance. It is earned through consistency, earned through patience, and earned through courage. Courage to say no to things that everyone else says yes to. Courage to plan when others drift. Courage to stand firm in principles while the world chases trends. It is this kind of courage that separates those who finish strong from those who arrive at the end of their working years with regret, worry, and dependency. The long view demands discipline today. But that discipline pays off in more than just dollars. It pays off in option. It pays off in confidence. And it pays off in the ability to look ahead without flinching. That is the ultimate reward of financial integrity. The freedom to choose the life you want to live. And the ability to leave something greater than what was inherited. Legacy is not about what is left behind. It's about what is built while you're still here. The rules that create financial strength are not just about making smart moves. They are about becoming a certain kind of person. Someone who chooses intention over impulse. Someone who builds rather than consumes. Someone who values stability over status. That person leaves a mark not only on their own life, but on the lives of everyone around them. Because the greatest wealth isn't the money saved, it's the impact made. There comes a point where reflection must give way to action, where understanding the rules is no longer enough. They must be lived. The most dangerous lie in personal finance is the idea that there's still plenty of time, that someday things will change, that more income will fix everything. But the truth is simple and unrelenting. Time will not slow down, and the future will not wait. Every day spent delaying discipline is a day borrowed from a future that may not have the margin to recover. And while the cost of action may feel difficult now, the cost of regret will be far greater later. Regret doesn't appear suddenly. It builds in silence. It grows each time a financial choice is postponed. Each time impulse wins over intention. Each time convenience is chosen over strategy. It shows up not just as empty accounts, but as missed opportunities. Opportunities to invest, to give, to rest, to live with peace. And by the time regret is fully felt, it is rarely reversible. That is why these principles must be adopted with urgency. Not next year, not when life gets easy. But now, there is no perfect moment to begin. There is only this one. And the truth is, everything changes the moment these rules are no longer seen as suggestions, but as standards. Standards that do not shift with moods or seasons. Standards that define the way money is handled, goals are pursued, and futures are protected. It doesn't take perfection to build wealth. It takes consistency. It takes courage. It takes a refusal to settle for the average path that leads to financial stress and dependency. For those who are just starting out, the road ahead may feel long. For those who are older, it may feel like time has been lost. But both are wrong. It's not the years ahead or behind that determines success. It's what is done with the next decision. Start where you are, with what you have. And refuse to let the past become a chain around the future. Money doesn't care about age. It responds to principle. When principle works, every single time it is applied. There will be resistance, not from the outside world, but from within. There will be moments when comfort tempts you back into old habits, when spending feels easier than saving, when shortcuts look more attractive than long-term thinking. But the reward for persistence is priceless, because what begins as discipline becomes freedom. What starts as sacrifice turns into security. The daily commitment to these financial rules, repeated with consistency, becomes a fortress that no storm can shake. There is no freedom like financial freedom. It's not about having everything, it's about not being owned by anything. It's the power to say no without guilt, to walk away from stress, to retire on your terms, and to give without fear. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing the future has been built with intention. And that kind of life is available to anyone, not because the rules are easy, but because they are true. This is the moment to decide, to draw a line, to say enough to chaos, to reaction to aimlessness. This is the moment to lead your financial life instead of following it. These rules are not new. They're not trendy, but they are undefeated when followed. And the greatest tragedy is not that people don't know them, it's that they know but don't act. Action is the difference between knowing and becoming. Start small, but start strong. Automate your savings, track your spending. Eliminate debt one payment at a time. Learn something new about money every week. Build a plan that reflects your values. Make decisions the future you will thank you for. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of life you want to live, and every delay is a vote against it. What's at stake is not just money. It's time, it's energy, it's peace of mind, it's the ability to care for your family, to pursue your calling, to live with purpose and not pressure. These rules don't just save you from being broke. They save you from being bitter, exhausted, and unfulfilled. They are the difference between reaching 65 with options or with obstacles, between finishing well or finishing with worry. Choose now. Act now. Build now. Not because someday isn't coming. And when that final season of life arrives, as inevitably will, let it find you strong. Let it find you free. Not because you were lucky, but because you were wise. And because you live by rules that never fail.